Right now on Denver 7 News at 5 a.m., it is a weather action day. The plows are out. More snow is coming on top of the several inches that have already fallen overnight. So we have team coverage this morning from our weather and traffic team, of course, in our studio, to our crews out in different parts of the metro to help you and your family prepare for the day ahead.
This is the type of storm that these trucks are very helpful with because they can make a difference.
So will there be plows in your neck of the woods or not? Well, the short answer is it depends. We're hearing from transportation leaders as to why your neighborhood streets may or may not be cleared.
Also, if the kiddos are out of school for the day, and many are, we have a short list of some of the best sledding spots to check out. St. Vrain Valley Schools, the only one I've seen so far that is actually having a remote learning day.
Okay.
So they're trying to make it a productive snow day. Other kids may be able to check out the sledding hills. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Jessica Crawford. Good snowy Wednesday morning to you. Our Katie Lasalle is here with this weather action day.
Yeah, it's been coming down all night and more on the way, Katie.
Yes, good morning, you guys. This isn't looking like a big record snowfall here for the metro area, but it is still an action day and it is still snowing. Temperatures are in the low to mid 20s this morning. On average, we've seen around 2 to 4 inches fall from Boulder into downtown Denver, more over northeastern Colorado and into the mountains. A very active picture from our radar and satellite this morning. We're watching a band of snow just east of the airport up through Longmont and Fort Lupton. Some heavier amounts at this hour, and also the heaviest snow currently over the far eastern plains out near Sterling through Julesburg. We are still under a winter storm warning that includes all of Metro Denver, Greeley, Fort Collins, north and east until 5 p.m. So we're expecting snow off and on through at least midday and continued snowfall into many of our mountain towns with winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings in place. So expect some snow-covered roadways, gusty winds at times, chilly temperatures before we gradually clear out later on tonight, Jason.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge for some folks, but traffic will be so light because we have schools closed, we have businesses closed, government offices closed down. Not as bad on the roadways if you do have to travel as I expected it would be. You're going to find some snow-covered roads, you're going to find some slush, you're actually going to find some lane recognition in some areas around town. And you can see from a lot of the different cameras that we're looking at a pretty typical snowy commute for most of us. Take a look at the drive out to the northeast. This is where a lot of the highways are closed down right now, including a big one, I-76 from Sterling out to Nebraska. We also have I-25 southbound closed down in Loveland there at Highway 34 for the next hour because of a crash that's being cleaned up. Also, we have one down to the south. Take a look from the camera down here at Castle Pines Parkway, and northbound I-25 is being restricted right here. You can see the flashing lights behind me here, also restricting traffic on that northbound side because of a crash right by Ridgegate. So you can see from the drive times around town, it's actually not too bad with speeds mostly in the 40s, some 50s out there. Overall, it's going to be a very light drive, obviously snow covered anywhere you want to go right now.
Yeah, all through the night and even into the early morning hours, it's been snowing, and dozens of school districts and government offices have already either canceled class or closed down for the day because of our severe weather. So on your screen right now is a fraction of the shutdown alerts we received into our newsroom. We have the full list scrolling at the bottom of the screen, but they include Denver Public Schools, Jeffco, Dougco, several of the school districts. Even the state legislature is on a snow day today.
And you can see the full list on our website, Denver7.com. It's at the very top of our homepage under closures and delays.
Also, hundreds of cancellations already in and out of Denver's airport. I just checked FlightAware, 262 canceled flights. A lot of them are from Southwest Airlines, 34 flights delayed. Those numbers have not changed much over the last hour or so. So many of those cancellations may have been in anticipation of the storm.
All eyes on Southwest these days. Well, the official weather station for Denver is out at the airport, and at last check, they've recorded about 5 inches of snow there.
Denver 7's Colette Bordelon is making her way to the northeast part of the metro. It's been coming down, though, pretty steady on you this morning. You're at 45th and Washington. How is it there?
Roads are a bit slushy out here, and definitely when we got from 25 onto that switch onto 70, very, very slushy driving. But you can't keep me at home on a snow day, of course. That's when I'm being careful on the roads. You can see, though, we do have some people out and about early this morning, making their way slowly down Washington. If you go all the way the other direction, you can even see some of that slush continuing right there under those train tracks. This turn in particular, though, that cars making right there. I've seen a couple of people slip and slide on that turn since we've been standing out here. You can definitely tell though plows have been out, but it is still pretty slushy, pretty slick. Obviously still very early in the morning. It's supposed to be a lot worse as we get closer and closer to Commerce City, Aurora, Brighton. So we're headed that direction next to show you the conditions out that direction.
Colette, thank you. It was actually nice to see the garbage truck out there. Maybe there won't be any more trash pickup delays because of the snow today. The city of Denver says it will handle this storm a little differently than the last one. Residential and main streets will be plowed this morning. We spoke with Denver's Department of Transportation and Infrastructure while they were loading up their crews yesterday. They said they have resources to plow the side streets, but only send drivers out when they're needed.
So the goal is, like, when we look at a forecast, we're saying what's going to happen with the storm? What are the temperatures before? What's after? How much snow is going to fall over what period of time? We want to put the trucks out when they're helpful, and not just send them down the street and kind of waste resources.
So you might see the smaller red plows making their way down your neighborhood streets today. This is a storm that they can help with. They can't help with every storm because it's not in the budget.
But if you're living outside of Denver, that plow might not come. That's because each city and county in Colorado has different rules for when they do plow residential streets. Aurora only does select neighborhood streets, and that's only after what they call, quote, the most extreme weather conditions. Westminster only does residential streets when they have 8 inches or more. Castle Rock says it has to snow at least 4 inches before they'll do residential streets. And over in Lakewood, they say residential streets are only plowed when snow depth seriously impedes vehicle mobility and melting is not forecast to occur quickly. And only after main streets, school zones, and shopping areas are plowed. Most cities and counties have their rules on their websites. Well, some of our crews had the most trouble coming out of the South Metro this morning. Places like Parker and Lone Tree got a little bit more snow than the rest of us.
I came in from that area. Definitely some slick spots. Lincoln Avenue is kind of a mess this morning. We want to check in with Denver 7's Veronica Acosta making her way down there. How does it look where you are in Lone Tree?
Well, I'll say the first things that we noticed when we got out of the car here in Lone Tree versus when we were in the Denver Tech Center is that it's a little bit colder and the snow is coming down harder. It is blowing just a little bit more as well. There's definitely more snow here. More of it fell overnight. You can see just down at my feet here, about 3 inches, I'd say. And then another really big difference is that this is really powdery snow. You're not seeing it in the trees there behind me. If you take a look, none of the snow is kind of weighing those down. So that's kind of some good news here in Lone Tree. Besides that, we'll give you a quick look at some of these smaller streets over here. So you can see actually plows have done a really great job at getting rid of some of the snow. You can actually see some of the bare street there. So some really good news as families are probably going to be waking up here soon. Not many of them are going to be heading to school, which is again some good news for them. But the streets look pretty good. As far as those main streets, those don't look too bad themselves, though. We haven't seen a plow in Lone Tree since we've been in here. They don't look too bad. I mean, you see drivers, they're keeping up those speeds going 50 miles an hour or so. So not too bad, not too many drivers on the road rather, and they're not going too slow either. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Veronica. Well, as the snow falls today, you may be trying to avoid looking at your sidewalk and driveway. Well, in most cities and counties, it is your job to remove that snow and ice on the adjacent sidewalk to your property. The official clock starts when the snow stops. The city and county of Denver says businesses must remove snow immediately, while residential owners have 24 hours. So what happens if you don't do it? Well, if you get a warning, businesses have 4 hours and residential owners have 24 hours before the inspectors recheck and a potential $150 fine if you do not get that snow off of those areas. So check with your city or county for your rules.
Well, we all know Colorado weather is fickle and can certainly change at any minute. You can take our weather updates from our Denver 7 team with you wherever you are. Just download the Denver 7 Plus app for your phone or tablet or your streaming platform. Katie.
And Denver and all of northeastern Colorado will remain under a winter storm warning through at least midday and through 5 o'clock this afternoon. Snow continues over the northeastern plains. Expect snow off and on through the day here in Denver. Accumulations will range between 2 and 4 inches of accumulation additionally, and then later on tonight will gradually clear out, but it is going to stay very cold. Jason.
Yeah, it's not quite as bad as we expected. Right now along Colfax over in Capitol Hill as we're traveling, we're looking now inside the car, as you can see. I wish we could see outside the car and I could show you more of the road conditions, because that's what I was looking at earlier. You can see it is going to be a snowy drive. We'll take a look at it more from the outside of the car coming up in just a bit.
Well, if you're staying home today and trying to stay warm but not break the bank, we got some simple things that you can do to make the most of your home's heat.
Also, calling all flight attendants who want to make some big money to the tune of $385,000 while working on a Netflix private jet might be your next move.